Well, guys, what do you think of the exhaust? So, welcome back to another episode. Today we are getting the off-road go-kart finished. I gotta get it, the front pulley set up for the torque converter mounted. I just gotta weld in another plate and then bolt in a couple pillow blocks. And then, yeah, this bar is blocking my face. And then I don't think I really got to do much more with that. I think after that I just need to get some chain. Once I get that bolted up there, I need to weld up a bracket for the brakes and bolt that up. And then, yeah, I gotta get some chain, throw it all together, throw the seat back in it, and then I've got a little bit of wiring to do. Let me show you guys that, because I don't think I've showed it on camera yet. But this right here is my new setup. You know, push button start. This thing is going to be fantastic. I'm going to use this just total on and off switch, like on and off kill switch for the entire vehicle. This is going to be for the lights on the top over there. And then, yeah, push button start is going to make it nice and easy, so you don't have to do anything. I'm going to be doing the push button start with a Chinese ATV starter solenoid. So I'll just have one of the wires running off to here, to this, and then another one running to the ground. And yeah, so we are going to get to everything here shortly. But first, I want to talk about how I'm setting up the torque converter setup, because it is very much different from how you would do it on most any other vehicle. And when I looked around online, I don't think I've ever seen it done this way, and I don't doubt that it could have already been done this way. But let me get it all set up like it's gonna be, besides the axle, because I'm having a bit of trouble with that thing right now. But basically, I'll pull the camera over here. Basically, I'm gonna have it set up like this. So you've got your driver pulley right here and your driven pulley right here. And there's a certain orientation for the 40 series. I know which way it is. Let me see if I can get some better lighting. Here's the driver pulley, here's the driven, here's the sprocket off the main shaft of the engine. Here's our driven sprocket, and then there's a little driver sprocket right up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But basically, we're going to have the driven pulley sitting right here with the pillow blocks up in the front on the 1-inch shaft up here. This one back here is a 3/4 inch. And so we're going to have this set up right here, have a sprocket coming off of, well, this sprocket right here, we're going to have a number 40 chain coming from there to another sprocket on here. The torque converter belt is going to run from here to here, and you're going to have this other chain which runs off of this sprocket right here onto this sprocket on the back. And now my reason for doing this, and I didn't really see it online, but I thought it worked just based off the mechanics of everything, so we'll have to find out. But my reason for doing this is because this engine has a 1 1/8 inch shaft on it, and that's a really weird size, and the only torque converter pieces I can find for that are $180 just for the driver, not even for the driven and the driver. So this right here is the driven, and the driver pulley, which is like this, would be $180. This would be like another $180, and then I gotta buy the belt as well. These two right here, the driver and the driven, were $100 with the belt. Thank you, Amazon. But that's why I went with these instead, because it was cheaper for me in the long run to make 2 different jack shaft setups than it would be to buy the entire setup, because then I also need a backing plate if I buy those. So this right here is just the more economical way if you've got 18 horsepower. And yes, a 40 series torque converter is kind of at the limit for 18 horsepower. You really want like a 44 series, but I'm going cheap and we're going fast. We're doing this old hot rod style. I don't know how long this will last. I just want to have fun with it, so we're going that way. But yeah, all I got to do next is just bolt these in, drill a couple holes, bolt them in. I don't even need to actually weld in the plate. I just realized my dad brought it up to me, just throw a big washer underneath it, which will work perfect. But yeah, that's why I'm setting up the torque converter this way, because it just makes it 10 times easier and 10 times cheaper on me. Welcome back. It is the next day. So last night I wasn't able to get it on camera, but I struggled a lot getting this shaft on here. It's slightly larger in diameter than it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 1 inch, but for some reason it was bigger. I don't know. It took a lot to get done on the pillow box. Maybe the pillow box are different. I don't know, but it's on. I do have to get this side lifted up a little bit more. And of course the bolts I bought were too short for that. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah, the next thing I'm going to be doing is, yesterday I spent forever working on the getting the throttle linkage set up on this, and I couldn't really get it to work like I wanted it to, and then I realized I've got this Mikuni carburetor sitting here. I believe it's like 24, 25 millimeters, whatever. It works. That was going to be going on my Yamaha DT100, the 2-stroke I have, but it's too big. And well, it's not necessarily that it's too big, it's that the way it has the thing set up for the throttle cable, it would be running it like wide open the entire time. So that's not going to work for that, but I figured I could get it to work for this. So what I got to do with this thing is I got to pull the intake off. Got to bore that out a little bit so this end right here will fit in it nicely, and then I've got a rubber boot that's going to go over that and make sure it seats together properly, real nice and tight. But yeah, other than that, I got everything set up. So I'm making the part for the brake right now. I didn't get that on video, but I got an idea on how I want to get it set up. So we're going to get to doing that, and let's get at it. Oh, I gotta pull it back off. Alright guys, so I've been doing some test fitting and a lot of really tedious grinding, so I didn't really record it, but I also couldn't get my camera over there. But let me show you guys what I did. Gosh, gotta love aluminum. It cools down pretty fast. But yeah, so here's what I did. I took this. At first, I was trying to make that little recess part so I could actually get the carburetor to sit in it a little bit, so it'd be less of a jump and stuff whenever you go to like whenever it tries to go through it. But I figured if I can get it just butted up against it, it'd be better than that, because that'd just be removing a lot of material and it'd take forever with what I was using. So this is how it's gonna work. So we got the rubber grommet right there. It's going to be shorter, but then this is going to go on it, and it's going to sit like this. And I do need to make a little bit of clearance on the cover right here, but once I get this done, it'll look better. And here's the throttle cable. I actually had this throttle cable lying around from the XR100 build I had a while ago. So, you know, get this all set up. And then I don't have to worry about running this. Good lord. This is supposed to be a Mikuni carb. I think it's too cheap to be a Mikuni carb. But, you know, get all this set up. And instead of having to run some weird little linkage setup, all I have to run is just this. And then opens and closes. And it'll be mounted up to the motor. And it'll make, or engine, sorry. It'll make power. And actually I think it'll make more low-end torque and stuff than it would without that. So we might be in for a bit of a treat. Ah, there we go. Yeah, so roughly right about there. It's gonna sit like that. This is gonna sit in it like that. I gotta cut about it. I'm gonna cut it about here or so. I think I'll leave this to grab down on the carb, and then I'll cut over here so we have a thicker piece to clamp down on this. But yeah. Alright guys, welcome back. So, my GoPro died while I was not paying attention, and I had to charge it. It's now fully charged, but it's about to get dark, so I won't be able to video anymore, but I'll catch y'all up on what I did so far. So, what you guys saw earlier was me welding the bracket on for the brake caliper, and that worked. Well, yeah, so I got that welded up. Now I got the caliper mounted and everything. So I'm just trying to get the master cylinder on here so I can actually slow down the go-kart. But other than that, I think I mentioned it earlier, I got the carburetor mounted on that as well. But yeah, for now, I'm just working on getting everything else mounted up. Mostly just this right here. Once this is mounted up, I will be able to throw the motor back on. I got to weld in a little piece of metal to reinforce over here where I'm sitting, because that's where I cut out a spot to fit the pull start. But once I get all that back together, then I can actually go take this for a test spin. And you guys will get to see that tomorrow, hopefully. And then once I get that done, it's just wiring in all the electronics and getting it to work right. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit that notification button for more content. And I will see you guys in the next video when we go and rip this thing around and have a blast. So, see y'all.